All right, and good afternoon, and welcome to today's Coach's Corner with my
Yay.
yay, with my friends, my mentors, my mastermind partners, my fellow coaches, Wayne Moody and John Ebron, and I'm your host Oliver Blue. And boy, what a time to be alive! Hello, my friends. How you guys doing today?
Oh my goodness. Excellent. Excellent. Doing really good.
All right, all
How
right.
about you, Wayne?
Well, having met with my executive director, I'm on top of the world.
Yes. You can count on Wayne for that 50,000 50,000 mile view of life, right?
Yeah.
And but anyway, welcome everyone. If you're listening in, we're live here, or maybe you listening to the replay. But this is the Coaches Corner, where we feature these three dynamic coaches. I may say myself, and our goal here, our goal is to add value to our communities and to build goodwill within those communities, right? And so we bring these live coaching corner episodes once a quarter, but we have a special purpose for being on here today, which we'll get into in a minute here. But this is kind of a bonus edition. And what else could you expect this time of the year
Right.
as we are sprinting towards the new year? There's so many things happening. Everybody calendars are getting pressed, and there's just so much that the vibration shifts this time of the year in terms of all of the things that are happening. But anyway, we are here for you. Thank you for joining in. Uh, my name is Oliver Blue. I'm a certified transformational coach. I help career professionals just like you to get unstuck from whatever you think you might be stuck with and help you to build a blueprint, a vision for get some clarity around what you like your life to be like and to help you live your best life. That's what I do as a profession. That's what I love. I'm passionate about personal development and
Yeah.
growth. Very passionate about it. I'm a spiritual junkie. Most of you all know that, and I love golf. I love people, and so this is a perfect fit for me. And so, John and Wayne, why don't you guys give a little bit about who you are and what you do and how you do it and why you do it?
Well, age before beauty, Wayne. So I'm going to go first. How about that? Good day, everyone. Good day, everyone. My name is John Ebron. I'm the founder of Ebron Coaching and Consulting. I am a master mindset life coach, behavioral consultant. And so basically, what that means, I help individuals tap into their authentic selves, right? To honor instead of trying to modify who you are, honor that, take all that information and craft that into life strategy, right? So we're a proponent of seeing, saying, and soaring, taking your life from vision to mission to ultimate life practice through honoring yourself. So I'm thrilled to be here. I love the work that we're doing together. I love the work that we're doing collectively in our collective or respective communities. And I know that this is going to be super powerful today as we have some great content, but also, rounding out we're rounding out 2024. It
Round it
is
out.
crazy. It is crazy. So I'm thrilled and blessed to be here.
Young King, Johnny Braun. So if you know me long enough and you know who I am, and I tell folks, I'm originally from heaven, the place of the source, but I was dropped off in a piece of heaven called Belize. You see the flag behind me, and I am a transformer. My ministry is transformation. What I do, I serve. The word minister means a servant, right? So I'm a servant of transformation, and transformation is It begins with being aware and conscious of where you are, acknowledging, taking responsibility for where you are, envisioning where you'd love to be. And what I do, I help with quantum leap to make it happen. So, as far as transformation is concerned, I'm a dream builder life coach. Mira Morrissey, one of my mentors, I'm a certified dream builder life coach. And what I do, I coach clients to take their dreams from conception to manifestation. And one of my mentors says, don't teach it unless you're living it. And I'm actually living it because my dream, I'm living it at this moment. And one of the primary aspects of my dream is to coach my nation, which you can see the flag behind me. And I'm currently coaching my nation. But it was not just the nation of Belize, because I have sites on nations. So Belize is ground zero. So, and my dream is becoming a reality as I'm coaching my clients, seeing their dreams becoming a reality. And Oliver said something a while ago about the term living your best life, right? And I would love to say, and I would ask John and Oliver to agree or disagree with me. I believe your best life is the life that was in the mind of the maker before you were sent into this place. Because one of my other mentor, Miles Monroe, said, if you want to know the purpose of a thing, you got to go to the maker of the thing. So if I'm my best life, it's the life that was in the mind of God. And a friend of mine said that we are a unique expression of who God is because each and every one of us is a part of who God is demonstrated in this world, in this life. So our best life is living that life which God has ordained for us. So I coach people to see that becoming a reality as my life is becoming a reality too, as far as the purpose and the mind of God. So that's who I am.
All right, now you see why I hang around these two guys. Very, very passionate about life itself, and very passionate about the abundant life, and not only for themselves, but they're not selfish guys, but they spend the majority of their life and their time now in support of others, right? Because that's what a coach does. We support others. We become a support system for others, and so you in good company. You in great company. And Wayne, you said something in your presentation. You used the word awareness, that it starts with awareness. And you're so right, man. You are so right. We hear that word kind of bounced around in conversation and kind of used kind of flippantly at times. But in reality, man, you hit it right on the head. You know, you can't outperform what you're not aware of,
Right.
right? You can't do it. It's impossible. And we also use the term abundant life, right, which is everywhere present, right? This universe we live in is a very abundant universe, and it's a very friendly universe. It's like this space that we are occupying is like in the midst of open arms, right? And the universe is just waiting on us to support us, right? And whatever endeavor we desire, right? And it is everywhere, and everything that we need is already present. It may not be in the form that we need it, or it may not be in your awareness, but it's here. And
Let
that's the good news.
me again, Oliver, you said it because I have come to fully understand that there is no lack.
Absolutely.
There's no lack. I mean, there might be a sense of lack, but there is no lack. I'm in a space right now where I need to see the manifestation of what is. And when I say that, I'm getting ready to go back home. The date is already set. The date is set before the election, actually. The ticket was bought before the election. So this is not a move for the election. This is a move beyond the election. But
So this is not in response.
oh no. No,
Yes, right.
no. And it's amazing because when you listen, and I'm talking about listening to that which you're one with, the source. When you're listening, then you can know, and your steps are going to be ordered right. Because as far as the situation and circumstances, I am not living my life by situation and circumstances.
No.
I'm living my life by intention.
No.
not by default. I'm not saying it is what it is. I'm saying it is what I say it is.
No. Yeah.
So it's a big difference when you have the awareness. But as you get the awareness, it doesn't mean that life doesn't happen, because life happens. And I remember one of the both you and I are actually Mira Morris's protege as far as dream building.
Yes.
And one
Yes.
thing that I've learned is creating the energetic state of the moment. And this is something that we teach our clients in the second week of dream building, where we can create the energetic state of the moment by going to a place of gratitude and amplifying it with something that we've done that we're proud of. And anybody that have worked with us in dream building, they will tell you we start off with "I'm so happy and grateful." And I say today, I'm so happy and grateful for John Ebron and Oliver Blue. I'm so happy and grateful for you guys. And what I'm proud of, I'm proud that I continue to serve both of you.
Mhm.
And though that's a formula, that's a practice, because when life happens, and it will, we might have to calibrate our nervous system, because when life happens, it knocks the wind out of you, and you just might have to do your breathing, get my
Right.
nervous system calibrated, and get myself centered, and then go to a place of acknowledging what am I grateful for, because gratitude is expansive. Gratitude prepares you for more. So when I'm grateful, I'm setting my energy in the right place, and when I acknowledge what I'm proud of, I'm engaged with the reality that I have a part of this co-creation, because the source won't do it without me, and I definitely don't want to do it without the source. But imagine, I am co-creating with the executive director. The executive director is the financer, the provider, the gifter. And my lane is be prepared to walk through the doors that are being opened, walk away from the doors that are closed. And as God and I create a blockbuster life, I'm amazed.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is, and it's so funny how you never know where things begin and where things end, right? And this is why it's so powerful to recognize we need each other and we're connected on so many levels, whether we're conscious of it or not, right? So I've been running around here saying, I'm gonna come up with this great idea. I'm gonna make November the month of gratitude. And now everybody and their grandmama's doing it, right? Like I came up with this great, I tell all my, whenever I teach on how we deal with the thoughts turning into emotions and emotions and fractions. And I tell them when I first started teaching, I said I got to come up with this great idea. I got to come up with an illustration that's really gonna connect. That's this is what it is, and no, it's gonna be great, right? Nobody's gonna have ever heard this before. It's gonna really resonate. And then after I started reading all the literature, everybody uses the same example, right? It's like that, right? But this is the month of gratitude
Yes.
for a lot of people, for a lot
Yes.
of organizations. I recently had someone respond to some of my social media messages. I really try to, I have a monthly theme that I kind of center conversation around. And so, of course, for November is the month of gratitude in preparation for birth and rebirth in the month of December, and as a fuel to the clarity and the strategy that we do in the months of September and October, right? So anyway, I had a gentleman respond to a post that I put up about gratitude and how it fuels us. And he said, that's so interesting that I've never thought of gratitude in that way. I really kind of thought of gratitude as the appropriate response to God's goodness to us, right? But I never thought about it functionally, right? But we know that if to make it through life, at times we have to bounce back from adversity, right? We call that resilience. And one of the competencies, one of the things that makes us resilient is our ability to be optimistic. And gratitude is what causes optimism for us, right? So it's
Ooh. Ooh.
functional, right? It's a lot of the things that we say are a mystery of God, if we really think about it, it makes a lot of sense,
Yes.
right? And so this is sometimes we even have to allow our emotions to catch up with what we know to be true, right? Because sometimes you might not feel like being grateful. And you say, well, if I don't feel like it and I try it, now I'm not being authentic, right? But that's only if your emotions run your life, right? We always say emotions are indicators, they're not dictators. They serve a vital purpose in our lives.
Yes.
Indicators, they tell us that something is going on that we need to pay attention to and probably need to make a decision about, but they don't run our lives. However, if you don't watch them jokers,
Yeah.
your emotions will put on the crown and say, this is how you're supposed to act because this is how you feel. Sometimes we have to say, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to act, and feelings, you can catch up with the decisions that we made. And
Absolutely.
so sometimes, even when we don't feel like being grateful, and Wayne knows me a lot of times, right? I'm too sober to have the conversation right now, but a lot of times I don't feel like being grateful, right? But I make the choice. I make the choice to be grateful and let my feelings catch up with the grateful, with the choice of that gratitude, because I need the optimism, because I need the result, the resilience, and I need to, that is me honoring the opportunity of life that the divine has given us,
You
right?
know, Mary Morrissey says this. I might be quoting her, someone else. Gratitude is the incubator for greatness and increase.
Mm-hmm.
Gratitude is the incubator for greatness and increase because when we're grateful, we're actually becoming the attraction of things coming to us. Because you look at the Bible, right, where the children of Israel, they just got freed and they're wondering, and then all of a sudden they start complaining.
Mm-hmm.
And because they complained, the scripture says they never entered into the promise because they just died. Because when you complain, that's not the energy that you want to function in. You want to
Right,
be grateful
right.
because you have your child. You want to teach that child to say thank you and be grateful. Because if you don't, you're creating a little monster who's going to feel entitled. And it's just the law, the way the law operates. Because if I'm grateful, I'm positioning myself for more. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's an energy that is going to come back to me. But if I'm like, oh, I'm not grateful at all. You know, I had an experience, one of my most transformative experience when it comes to gratitude. I remember years ago, I took a group of young Belizean men to Honduras. We were on a mission trip, right? And we went to the border of Nicaragua and Honduras, and there was a refugee camp.
Mm-hmm.
And these people at that time, this was war in Central America had been finished. They were living in these tents made from the camouflage punches that the military wear and the garbage bag. They were waiting for cheese, plantain, coffee, um, like 3 times a day. When
Wow.
we went the first day, I was so overwhelmed. We're supposed to go back a second day to actually do ministry, do clothing distribution. I couldn't go back because I was so overwhelmed by the reality that I felt like a millionaire. And this was years ago, even before I came into Dream Building. And I remember I stayed back and I told the other team leader, I said, you know what, you take the guys, I'm going to stay because I wouldn't be good in that space because of the emotions that I would have been expressing. And I remember I prayed and I prayed and I said to God, I said, God, if I ever complain again in my life, you remember this moment. And fast forward a couple of years ago, one of my clients, my first client that I ever had, Dr. Highshaw, who his nonprofit has gone from 3 to 35 staff. It's now a multi-million-dollar nonprofit in LA. And he invited me and he had me put up in a hotel in LA, right? So I'm in the hotel. And normally when I travel, the first thing that I do is check the internet because that's how I work. Brand new hotel, the internet wasn't working. I got on the phone and I was like, I don't want to use the word the way I was acting, but I was not acting nice. And I was calling the front desk, asking them about the internet, and all of a sudden, a thought hit me: "You're not in Ukraine." I didn't
Wow.
need to say anything else because today, as we speak today, there are refugees all over the world. And the two wars that we're focused on today is Ukraine and in Israel. But there are thousands and millions of people in Africa. There are people in Haiti that are going through stuff nobody's talking about. And why would I complain? You see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that I shouldn't be aware of what's happening to me because the last job I had, I was working as a program director in LA with a behavior program, and a client would actually be blind with behaviors, and the skill of that client would be learning is just taking the food from the plate to the mouth. Gratitude is something that has to be a part of my life. And when you think about it, gratitude is a part of my daily practice. That's why when I meet with the executive director in the morning, I spend at least 15 minutes of gratitude, at
Mm.
least. And this is why when I come from that place, it's an overflow because I'm grateful. I'm grateful for being here right now. I'm grateful for what's ahead. I'm grateful for what happened in the past. And I can look at the past with joy because I realize, again, my mentor, Mira Morsi, says, the content of my life is the curriculum of my evolution. Everything that has happened to me, I can look and say, I am happy that it happened. When it happened, I was not necessarily happy, but I'm glad that it happened because it has made me who I am. Because if you take out any piece of my life experience, you wouldn't have the person talking to you today.
Mhm.
I'm grateful.
Super.
Well, you just proved our point, and everybody's not at the same place in their transformation, right? And but you proved the point by saying that over time your awareness expanded
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
about the importance of gratitude
Hmm.
and being thankful. And as your awareness expanded, you incorporated that into your daily life because you understand the power of gratitude. You understand the uh, the awesome way that it shifts the very energy that you experience in every moment of your life. That's how powerful gratitude is. So, but it starts and it ends with awareness, right?
Yep.
Because you cannot outperform your level of awareness. You cannot expect a newborn baby to walk. Right?
Right.
You can't expect a rookie in any of the professional sports. You can't expect them to be performing, at
A veteran.
all-star
Yeah.
level, right? Initially, there's rare cases, but there's a growth involved with it. There's an awareness. There's a process of becoming that all of us go through, and
That's why you need a coach.
that's why, yes, and that's why coaching is so important.
I
Hmm.
got a coach. You got a coach. We got coaches, but we are
I,
coaches ourselves.
oh boy, I got several coaches. I need help. I need support. I realize how important that is, and so yeah, there, I got them all kind of places in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, but wow, wow, thank you
I
so much. Go ahead, John.
I was gonna say I love that you emphasize, the legitimacy, like the realness of awareness and the need for it, right? And I think a lot of us, we this might be a little bit of a jolt to the ego, but we need someone to give us permission to start the journey of awareness, right? There is a little bit of a useless emotion of guilt when you're not already, cosmically aware. But it's like anything else in life. It's given to us in seed form, right? And just like you said, you can't expect the baby to, like, back in the old days, we used to have children because we need people to work the farm, right? Families used to be 14, 16 deep because we need you to get out there and, walk these rows, you know what I'm saying? But you wouldn't expect that of an infant, you know? You're going to nurture that baby, right? You're going to care for that baby, walk that baby through dependence to independence, and then they can start contributing, right? But we have to give ourselves permission. We have to say, where is your point A? Right at this stage in life, for many of us, and I think this is also a particularly strong message for men, because we often mimic what our environments show us, right? As a matter of fact, it's our heredity, our environment, and the models in our lives. That's what shapes our personality types, right? And if we're in an environment that does not give us permission, then we're not going to give ourselves permission. And I think we're going through some growing pains as we're kind of traversing through that now, and we're starting to crack that open and give ourselves permission, you know. But we got if we're taking on that journey, if we're on that road, the first thing we're gonna have to do is just go to a place of acknowledgement. Here I am. This is my point A. I desire to be at something like a point B, right? Lamp and light. We get to see enough oftentimes just to make a next step, but we have that awareness that there's more for us,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
And that's what brings about that expansive attribute that you were talking about, in life. You can look at your life, and if you're in a safe space, to be real honest, you can tell if your lifestyle, the way you sculpted and crafted your life so far, whether it's constrictive or whether it's expansive, right? You can tell, and you don't have to know how to move from being constricting to expansive. You just have to know that's what you want, that's what you
Right.
desire, so
Again.
that how can start to kind of manifest itself, right? I
Yeah.
always say the how is none of your business until you know.
Oh, absolutely.
Given the
Well,
how, it is all your business, right?
you know what
Yeah.
I say, John? If you don't know where you are,
Hmm.
I can give you a compass and you won't know where to go. But if
Absolutely.
you don't know where you are, you don't know north from south, east or west, you don't know where you are. I give you a compass. You will need to know where you are because this is how transformation begins. I have to acknowledge where I'm at.
Right.
I got
Right.
to take responsibility for where I'm at. I'm blaming nobody.
Right. Right.
I mean, I know, and this again is like another idea we share is that I have a history, but I'm not my history. I have a story, but I'm not my story. I know where I'm at, and I say my ancestors were enslaved, but I'm not a slave. So I know where I'm at. I won't blame nobody. I won't blame the system. I mean, although the system might have had influence in where I'm at right now, but I have the power. I have the ability. I'm a free moral agent that can say, I'm not staying here because the tree that is planted is planted.
Hmm.
As a human being, yes, this is where I'm at right now, and I got to take responsibility for where I'm at, but I can now imagine where I'd love to be.
Hmm.
How, like you said, I don't have to know how, but at least I know where I'm at and I know where I want to go. Then I can start looking at how can I get there? Because here I am now imagining my dream. I want to coach the nation of Belize. So what do I do? I know I'm not the coach, but I want to be the coach. But time, I have done what I could with what I have. And Henry David Thoreau says, if one advance confidently in the direction of the dream, endeavoring to live the life that he's imagining, all sorts of things begin to occur that never otherwise would have occurred. And new, more universal liberal laws begin to establish themselves around that person. And that person then begin to live life with the license of a higher order of being. And every time I'm evolving, because today I'm working at being a better me than I was yesterday. And tomorrow I'm going to be working at being a better me than I am today. And I say, for me, I am another person that, I mean, you and I were talking last night, John, but since we spoke, I've grown.
Absolutely.
Since we spoke last night, I've expanded. So say me. So it's a continuous evolution, it's a continuous growth, and it's always about the becoming.
Hmm. Hmm. Love it. Love it.
So there are so many places and spaces in this virtual world, and you don't always, and you can go in and out of these rooms, but boy, this is some good food being served in here, my friend. This is a place of expanded awareness, right? And cause it all points back to awareness again. I can't overemphasize that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wayne has become who he is because of his becoming more aware of realities, right, that he was unaware of. John has matriculated to this space in life where he now is living his dream of being a mentor and a coach, right, and an advocate for others because of his expanded awareness. You
Hmm.
you put yourself in a growth environment, right,
Hmm.
and I can certainly speak for my own self that I am certainly not that fearful, uh,
Oh, wow.
very contracted person that I found myself 28 years ago before I started my journey of transformation. And so I can remember when I was in college and I pledged this fraternity. And can you imagine through all of my all of the education I received up to being a sophomore or junior in college, I had never spoken before my peers.
Really?
Never, never been in a position to speak before my peers. I would say that's not a very strong educational system, wouldn't you say?
I was gonna say, right.
Yeah, never had the opportunity. So in that moment, my fraternity brothers saw something in me, and so they chose me to become the dean of pledgees. In
Hmm.
other words, to become the mentor
Mhm.
for our aspiring new members, right? And to coach them and to mentor them, right? They saw that in me. I didn't see that in myself. They saw it in me. And so I can remember after while we was in that meeting, and they said, and they all voted and said Oliver's going to become our next dean of pledges. And then they after they made the announcement, they say, well, Oliver, we want you to get up and kind of address the brothers, let them know, what your vision is around this. I can remember standing up, John, and I was so afraid.
Yeah.
My lips were so restricted
Right.
because I had never
Mhm.
had to do that, right? And so in that moment, I realized that that there was more about me than I had experienced, and I was determined. I was determined from that point, right, that I was going to explore or become more aware of my own inner self, my own skill set, my own capacity, right, so that I could show up in the moment. And
Mhm.
so here I am 40 some years later, and people say, Blue, you was like born with a microphone in your mouth. But if they only knew where I came from, if
Right.
you only knew,
I
oh my
like
God, if you
I like
only knew
I like
where
what you
I came from.
who you are, because really we're coming into the real authentic self. So, and when we talk about the emotions, right? Because I do believe that we have emotions, but we're not our emotions.
No,
I'm not my emotions, but I have them.
Mhm.
So when I say I feel, and just a while ago you said that you were, but the reality is that was not who you were. You thought that
no.
was who you were, but
That was where my awareness was.
Right.
there,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I could see I couldn't outperform my awareness. I couldn't in that moment, but the potential was there.
Mhm.
yes, and somebody else saw it, and
And I needed a coach.
somebody somebody called it out of you. And this
Yes.
is why when we understand the psychology of the emotions and the physicality of the emotions, because emotions is energy in motion.
It's just energy and motion.
Energy is neither created nor destroyed. And like John said earlier, the emotion is just like a signal telling you something is out of alignment here.
Right. Right.
But I gotta process it. I gotta think it through and work through it, because if I suppress it,
Right.
suppressing emotion leading to disease and stress and anxiety and all kind of stuff. But I gotta embrace it and acknowledge it and say, this is how I'm feeling. And I'm
Yeah.
being honest. I'm getting ready to go back to a home that I haven't been over 20 years. Don't you think I have some feelings coming up? I am not the person that was home over 20 years ago. Some of the
No.
people out there have not grown, they're stuck. Their mindset is the same. So it means that I will reintroduce myself to people.
Yeah.
And people will be wanting to treat you like the person they thought you were then. Oh, that's little John. Little John was such a nice little boy. But you realize that this is not little John anymore.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
that's what they see, and that's what they might be
Yeah.
thinking.
That's
Right.
the level of awareness. Yes.
Mhm.
Their level of awareness, and that's why
Yeah.
it's a continuous journey,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
continuous journey. And this is why I love this work that I'm doing, and about the work that I'm doing coming up in December is my last virtual Sankofa Mastermind Summit, which started. I was in Hawaii. I was in Hawaii in 2020, and I did a virtual summit. And imagine Hawaii is so far behind in time, but yet I had like 9 or 10 clients that I did a summit, and I told the clients then I will do a summit every Monday after Thanksgiving as long as I am. And they've been 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, And last year I said to them that 2024 was going to be the last virtual, which if you haven't been to, I mean, John has been a speaker and a presenter at my summit. Oliver has been as well. They have been together, and we've had other guests come in as far as the Sankofa Mastermind Summit. But this year, which is going to be the last year virtually, we have the privilege of coming into a space. So, and these two guys, I so appreciate them because they serve my dream like if it's theirs. And I would love to say, I would love to say that I come alongside them to support them as much as they would support me, because community is something that is rare.
Yeah.
And we have a community of 3 Black men who different calling, different giftings, different personalities. I'm not sure if John would do the personality type that this. John, where would I be? Where would Oliver be in this personality type? What would you perceive us?
I mean, just off the top of my head, I would say Oliver is, I would say, a strong S, right? A strong, steady personality type. He is team oriented. He's a systematic person, and he likes to make things have to make sense collectively, right? He brings things together, right? So I would say at a minimum, you're a high S. Now, so your alternate, I don't know what your alternate would be off the top of my head. So you're a galvanizer, right? You bring people together.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, so you might be an SI, right? A steady influencer.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Steady influencer, right?
yeah, yeah.
Actually, that really describes my vision,
Mhm.
and not just an influencer, but an influencer that unites
Yeah,
humanity.
yeah,
That
yeah,
unites humanity.
yeah.
My heart burns that we wake up one day
Mm-hmm.
and we be united as a species in oneness.
That's the vision. Yeah,
Yes.
I love that. I love that. So I don't know if you can see my little square here, my finger.
I see the DCIS. Is that what it is?
Yeah, DISC. And so you're here on the I, the S, the green, and the I, the yellow.
So
Right.
does that mean to you that's if you was facing that, that would be on your right side, right?
Correct.
Does that mean I'm right brained?
That actually means that you are a blend between extrovert and introvert, but you're centered on people versus task.
Oh, but John.
So the D and the C is more task oriented. The I and the S is more people oriented.
Oh,
And
John.
the I gives you that extrovert tendency, and that S gives you the introvert. So you're a hefty blend between the two. See?
Can I do a commercial quickly right here before you go ahead, John?
Yeah,
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
John Ebron does this personality type training. If you're listening to this right now, you have a company, you have an individual, you're in a relationship just by yourself, do a this personality. He did mine. Because this is why I asked the question, because he did the actual evaluation with me and he briefed me. And it's something that he does as far as what he provides, help people to understand themselves. Because when you understand your personality type, it tells you how best to work efficiently with others.
absolutely.
I need to be aware of me. So what am I, John?
You are a D times 10.
A D10X, huh?
Yes, sir. You're a 10X D. Now, you can move a project along, but you don't want a whole lot of information.
Yeah.
That's somebody else's to do.
And you know what? It takes all type to make the world
It
go
really
round,
does.
right?
It really-
And wow, but John is an expert at what he does. I mean, he's just so skillful at the personalities. He's so skillful when it comes to systemizing things, so thoughtful. And John bring things to this mastermind group here that without him, Wayne and I,
You know, I remember the first time I met John in person in Atlanta. He had picked me up at the airport, and when I walked in his door, every pot, every spoon, every container, everything was like beep, 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 beep. I mean, talk about organizing, and I can see it in what he does, because when he deals with leadership, He's about having things in
Absolutely.
order, and he just has, and it's just that's just him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I believe that spontaneity it can launch from a place of complete unknowns, or spontaneity can springboard off of organization and structure. And I feel as though where you land in your spontaneity is where you begin with your spontaneity, right? So this doesn't take away the spice of life
Right.
to gather and harness
Yep.
the energies that you've been given. I think it really helps you set that intention. We say in the Maxwell team, you have to know yourself to grow yourself, right?
Yep.
How can you make effective goals to take you into the future if you don't really know where you're at now?
Yeah.
And what you said, the real power in the work that that we do with the disc is based off what you just said, Wayne. It's really about putting you in the best position to connect with other people, right? Because when you are the sender, your job is to encode that message in the most digestible form to the audience that you're sending it to. I used to be a licensed minister until I knew better. That's another conversation. We had that on another coach's
That
call.
makes two of us.
Yeah. And I remember one of my first real mentor pastors pulled me aside after preaching a sermon, and he said, "Preacher, I don't eat cabbage. I like collard greens." And he walked off. I said that he had to have meant something when he said that, right? So I kind of trailed behind him a little bit, and he kind of let me catch up with him. And I said, "So, Pastor, what does that mean?" He says, "Well, if you're gonna cook now, cook what I eat." I know you like to teach, but every now and then we need you to hoop a little bit. That's what we do in this church, right? He says, "You're sending this message, but you're sending the message the way that you digest it. You're serving us while thinking about you.
Mm.
If you can think about us as you're serving us, then when the meal comes to us, we can eat,
Ooh.
empower,
Preach.
and turn around and feed someone else."
You sure you're not supposed to be preaching?
Well.
Yeah.
Um, but if you think about now, what if we set that as an intention, awareness in our relationships, in our business interactions, in our connection and work in the community? If we get strong enough on the inside to where we don't have to worry so much about how we're doing, and we can really focus on how am I influencing, how am I impacting the people that come in contact with me? What do they need and how do they need it? What does my wife need? What does my husband need? Do they need me to be a high D? Well, probably not if they're a high S, right? Even if you're a high D and you say, give it 5 words or less, your partner needs you to sit down and think about it and make it into a digestible message. And you can do that. And the only reason why you should do that is because you can do that.
Yes.
Right?
And the key is love.
That is love.
Love. Because when you love, then you're gonna
Yeah.
not be so much focusing on yourself as much as you're so because I
And
know
if you love your spouse, if you love your employees, if you love your children, if you love the people in your community, let me say this to you. If you love, you give.
Yes.
If you find yourself in a relationship with someone, any kind of relationship, and you're withholding yourself, do not call yourself a lover of men. You're not. And you can't be, and you probably should be. Right now, we are what we consistently do. And what you're doing right now is not enough. So
Mm.
access all of who you are so that you can give that. Live full, die empty, and put yourself in a position where someone else can bless you because you've given all you got.
that's another bar drop right there.
So that's
So I know, like all of us said, we are talking about December 2nd, right?
yes,
Which is the month after Thanksgiving, the last virtual summit, and the link is going to be shared. It's going to be an invite. You got to go into the invite and register. And it's going to be. I was talking to my part of my Belize team today, and in that summit, they're going to have key players that are going to be in Belize. The ones in Belize and the ones that are here will be in that actual summit. And yours truly will be the presenter for the summit. Right now I have a client in India that I coach and a client in Nigeria that I coach, and they said they're going to be up, and I would definitely like to give them privilege in the meeting to share what they're doing. There is this one Nigerian young man, and he found me on Facebook, and he said, "Could you mentor me?"
Wow.
I mean, just because of the content and if you know me, I am spitting out. And what I spit out is what I get from the executive director. When you see me sharing certain stuff, it's because I have heard certain things and I'm wanting to and it's not everything that I get, I share, but at least I can share what I need to share. But the reality is that December 2nd, I will be in Florida, Oliver will be in Carolina, and John will be in San Antonio. And we have Belizeans in Belize, Joe and Bernard, and then Rudy LaRose, these are all people that are getting ready to be in Belize next year. But we will be at this summit, which is going to be amazing. And
Wayne, why don't I put up the information so our viewers can
Yeah.
get some
Sure, yeah.
specifics? How about that? So you can
okay,
just talk
yeah.
from that. Yeah. So this is Wayne's 5th or 6th summit, right? And it's like Wayne said, it's going to be happening on December the 2nd of this year, and it is a virtual 2-hour summit where Wayne's going to be gathering people from his coaching community, his social community, his vision, uh, where he's going to be going back home to Belize next year, and John's community, my community, all that people that we've touched this year. This is, and those that we have not touched, you are invited to attend this 2-hour virtual summit called Sankofa Summit 2024, where Wayne is the host, and the theme is the power of the mind, thinking, emotions, vibration, and manifestation, which is everything we've talked about since we've been on this live. And so that's going to be happening December the 2nd. It is going to be a Zoom room environment, and it will start at 12 noon Central Time, 1 Eastern Standard Time. And all of you out here are invited. Whether you're here live with us today or watching the replay, you are invited to come into this space, which is going to be phenomenal. A 2 hours mastermind summit with just so many people from all across this nation and across the world. So here's your invitation. Registration is required, right? Registration is required. You say, well, how do I register? There is a link that I've already placed in the comments. You can click on that link and it'll take you to the registration page. All you need is your name and your email address, and you will get your virtual ticket and a seat in this summit that's going to be dynamite coming up on December the 2nd.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Wayne, you want to?
I'd like to.
I know you want to add some more to that. Tell us about it. Tell us what we can expect.
Well, what you can expect is actually some testimonies of folks that I've been working with for sure. What you can expect, it's going to be invaluable. I've been doing this for all the years, 2000, 2001, 2, 3, 4 this year, and there's never been a cost attached to it. And you can go to a summit like this and you would pay. I mean, right now the work that I do, I speak and I get paid. I mean, I've had clients who invite me to do like a half an hour team support meeting, billing like $500. And you talk about a summit where you are invited to come in, not so much for free, but the fact is that there's an investment that you will make with the time, and you'll be getting invaluable impact on your life. So I appreciate the support that I've had from John and from Oliver, and it's a snowball rolling. And like we say, it's going to be this or something greater still, because if I can imagine it, it's going to be exceedingly abundantly I can ask or think. So I want to say thanks for John and Oliver, who has been like bedrock to support me in this whole process of building this dream. And this has been in the making because, like I said earlier, part of my dream is to coach a nation, which that is actually in motion. But a part of this summit is serving my community. First, the Sankofa Mastermind, my private Facebook group for clients that I've worked with. And I've actually worked with over 150 plus clients. And I've actually been serving them. And like any coach, the desire is to see them excel and go beyond where I've been, because that's the philosophy even of Jesus Christ, the great teacher, the great servant. He said, the work that I do, shall you do, and greater. So the work that I'm doing, my clients, they're going to do and greater. And they can tell you, I envision them taking the baton. I'm coming at warp speed. I'm not coming just at ordinary speed. I'm coming at warp speed. And I'm saying, take the baton. And they reach for it and they're going. And that's I think, is where our success lies in the work that we do. If those that we work with do what we do and even greater, then we can say we've actually accomplished the mission. But I want to be all of who I'm supposed to be. Like I think it was John that said earlier, or Oliver, live full and die empty. Every person that I should work with, I would want to have worked with. Mary Morrison said, there are people who are praying for John. There are people who are praying for Oliver. There are people who are praying for me. And we don't know that they're praying for us, but we are preparing for those people. And when we meet them, that's when the magic happens. And then we fulfill the purpose of interacting with them and help them to go to the next level. So I'm excited.
Yes, yes. Save the date, put it on your calendar. Even after this live, you'll be able to go to any of my platforms and get the link for the registration. I'm sure John's going to have it out there in his spaces, and definitely Wayne will have it in all of his platforms, where you'll be able to go to his Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or X, wherever they are. There will be a posting there with this information about the upcoming summit and the link for you to register. So it won't be like one of these situations where we give you a fish, but it'll be a situation where you will be taught how to fish,
Right.
and it'll affect you for a lifetime. It'll
Yes.
affect you for a lifetime. And so that's the investment. You investing in your own transformation for 2 hours. I'm telling you, I've participated in just about all of Wayne's prior summits, and they are special moments. And I'm sure this one really is already building up to be a very special moment, because really it is almost like the launching pad for which Wayne
Right.
will be moving back to his country next year in June, and he's going to be uh, he's going to be having his fall summit to be live in his own very own country of Belize in 2025. And so you're gonna hear more about that, but we want to get you here. You got to get here first, right?
Right.
So mark your calendars, grab the link in this comments here, and go ahead and register. And boy, we just loving we just waiting to see you on the inside. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So Oliver, do you have a date for first Coaches Corner next year?
No, but we definitely will be. We definitely will be. We're not taking this off the air, out of the airways. We're going to create a strategy for 2025,
Yes.
and it may be a little more, have a different rhythm, but we're definitely going to be showing up in this space. The three of us. There's no way you can break us apart. No way you can break this
Yeah.
vibration apart. The world needs us. There's people out there that needs us. Maybe some of you have been listening to this live or some previous ones, and you found benefit from hearing the sharing that goes on here. And but that's our purpose, and that's our goal, and that is to add value, build goodwill, be a supporter of all humanity. And like I said, one day we're all going to wake up in a world of oneness and a world of unity. That's the vision that I have.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So, all right. So, boy, we didn't hit the main thing. We have kept the main thing, and that is awareness. And then we just expanded your awareness by talking about the upcoming Sankofa Summit, and we definitely want to see you there. So, guys, you got any closing arguments, like they say? Are there any closing arguments that you like to bring before the court universe as we close out here?
I would just like to say, I really hope everyone's enthusiasm is mounting for 2025, right? And so I know we've just come out of an election season. People are still feeling what they're feeling as it relates to that. We've been doing a lot of training on political anxiety and mental health awareness, and really thinking about how this has been a great opportunity for many to reconnect to their spiritual selves, right? Which is powerful. I see spirit, the human spirit, as the glue that holds all the other components of ourselves together, right? And so I think it is powerful that we can take the opportunity to do that. But I think, again, being the experiential manifestation of the divine, right? That's our unique gifting and privilege, is to be in the experiential world, right? All of our awareness is not designed just for the sake of being aware. It is awareness to move into management, regulation, manifestation, right? So take the time you need, right? Protect your peace, but your life is not about just protecting your peace. You don't protect your peace just so your peace can be protected, right? Make sure that you are giving yourself the opportunity to grow through the things that we're experiencing. And again, regardless, we got a good month and some change, and we're in a whole new year, right? So I really hope everyone is capitalizing. Let us know how we can support you in that endeavor,
Absolutely.
right? See it, say it, soar, take off, but before you take off, make sure you got the mission before you get into doing what you're going to do. Know why, what it is that you're doing, and then attach that to something larger, right? As you were saying, Oliver, have a solid vision. One day we're going to wake up and this is what we're going to see, right? Pose the word someday to yourself, and then finish the sentence, right? Someday, what is it for you? Someday, you'll own your first, rental property, or someday will eradicate cancer from the earth. What's your someday, right? Because that vision will lead to your mission, and that mission will lead to your action, and that action will make your life worth living, right?
Yes.
So let us support you. Let us know how we can help you in those endeavors.
Thank you, John. Wayne, you got any closing arguments for the universe? Not arguments, but closing wisdom. Because we're not arguing with anyone, right?
Right.
There's not a fight. There's not a war to be won. There's not a fight to have.
Right.
this morning, a part of the download that I got, right, was no one can know God for me. No one can worship God for me. No one can serve God for me. No one can believe God for me. My relationship with God is personal. It's a unique expression of God's reflection and His glory in my life. So, as much as it is personal, we are all gifts, right? But we're not gifts to ourselves. We're gifts to the world. So I step into a space and I celebrate every gift that is there, because we're all sent to be a part of this whole. So I celebrate you and John and everyone, because no matter who you are, you're a gift. There's a gift that I have in my family. One of my nieces, she's Down syndrome, and she is an amazing gift. The testimony of her life is when she was born, she had a heart surgery early in the first few months, and the doctor said she wasn't going to live more than 7. She's in her 30s right now. At her mom's funeral, she did a praise dance.
Wow.
And you know what I've told her since I'm heading back home? I said, you know what? We're going to go to Paris. I'm taking you to Paris. And she's like, and John know me and my imagination. But you know, it's amazing that there is such an intimacy we have with the source because of the breath we take.
Mm.
It's the source of life breathing through us, no matter who you are, whether you believe or you don't believe, whether you're a Muslim or atheist or agnostic or whatever. There is only one source of life breathing us, who is the source of all love that is breathing us. And the more we become aware, I was saying this to John earlier last week, that the more I become aware of who God is, I become aware of who I am, and then I become aware of how much I really don't know. So that's
Wow.
my final word. It's a continuous evolution and growth. And I'm working today at being a better me than I was yesterday. And tomorrow I'll be working at being a better me than I am today, getting better every day.
Thank you, Wayne. It's so good. Well, in the spiritual tradition of the Tao Te Ching, I think it's called, it talks about the 10,000 things. That's just reflective of all of the all of the experiences, all of the vicissitudes, everything that we deal in life with form and relationships and whatever, health and finances and politics and sports and athletics and entertainment, all the 10,000 things in life.
Mm.
They are there and they happen every day in different ways. But in reality, when our awareness is lifted up to the infinite, then we realize that there's only one thing, and that's our shared being, that we all share the one being, right? And how do you get there? Well, that's the journey we call transformation.
Mhm.
That is our own journey, and all of our journeys are different. But one thing for sure, we live in a universe that is run by laws, right?
Mhm.
The law runs the universe, and the law determines our outcomes. They determines our results, right? And so we are either aligning ourselves with the laws of the universe, right? Or we tend to try to break ourselves up against them because you cannot the universe the common thing about the law is that the law cannot be altered and it cannot be changed, right? And so somewhere along the journey we discovered that there must be a better way than what the way that I'm going, because it is painful.
Mhm.
And that's the moment that we discover that not only there must be a better way, but there is a better way, right? And so John and Wayne and I, we are only here to be helpful. We're only here to help you to discover that better way. Not that we have perfected it, but we have had our own
Right.
transformation. We have had our own salvation. We have had our own awakening. And so when one really come to have that moment, they understand that we have this shared interest, that all of us desire the same thing. We all desire the same thing
Yeah.
in a sense. And so um, in our transformation, we discovered that our best expression is to show up as servants and supporters of your life and your dreams and your aspiration, right? Because there were one time that we were all, the three of us was in our own pain, right?
Mm.
And did not know how to get out of our own way in our own pain. But we've discovered some things, and we just want to here to lovingly share with you to support your journey of transformation. And that's what the Coach's Corner is all about. Thank you guys so much for again investing in me personally, because every
Mm.
time we have these conversations, we all grow.
Yes,
We,
sir.
we leave this space more aware than we came into this space about an hour ago. And hopefully, if you're listening to this live or the replay, I guarantee if you listened, then you're leaving this space with an expanded awareness about who you are and the unlimited potential that is already present and waiting for you to say yes, right? So until our next episode of the Coaches Corner, which is going to be 2025. Next time you see us, the three of us, like this in this format, it will be in January of 2025 when we'll all start over.
When both John and I have a birthday in that month.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, wow. So yeah, that's going to be great. That's going to be something to celebrate. Well, okay. All right. And thank you guys again for being here. I love you guys so much, Wayne. Looking forward, really excited about your summit. Again, if you want to invest in this, something that will just exponentially create growth in your life, come be a part of Wayne's uh, December 2nd virtual summit. It is free, but you must register. The registration link is in the comments here. And if you listen to the replay, you can find information about this on any of the three of our platform where you'll be able to just click a button and secure your virtual seat in that grand summit. I'm looking forward to it. But until then, see you guys.
All right, gentlemen.
All right. And happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Right? Because Thanksgiving is like a week away. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And then we'll see you on the Monday after Thanksgiving at the Sankofa Summit 2024.
Super.
See la. See la.
Amen. All right, gentlemen.
All right.